Season 1, Episode 6, Terminal Provocations. Cast remain the same. Brad Boimler, Devana Tendi, Beckett Mariner, and Sam Rutherford. Our secondary cast also remains the same. Cal Freeman, Jack Ransom, Shax, and Anna. The episode summary written by yours truly. The Cerritos is called after the wreckage of several old cargo ships is discovered by the Drukmani, who want to claim the wreckage and the cargo for themselves. Our intrepid lower deckers are split once again. Boimler and Mariner deal with a friend who may not be as friendly as they thought. Meanwhile, Tendi and Rutherford brush up on some protocols in the holodeck. We open with a strange one today, as Boimler is making weird noises while sorting out his clothes locker. Before Mariner asks what he's doing, Boimler says he's imitating the warp core. The sound is soothing, and he reveals that he's actually not doing the Cerritos warp core, but that of the Enterprise at warp 4. He then breaks out his Cerritos before Fletcher, a background character, interrupts and joins, only to get corrected by Boimler. The two make very similar noises. We learn that Cerritos has inverted plasma distributors, giving the engines a slightly higher pitch than the standard Starfleet warp core engine. Mariner corrects them both before joining. Apparently, according to her, the pitch doesn't come from the distributors, but it's from the vibrations in the dilithium disbursement manifold. It's always nice to learn more about ships this way. A bit of organic background. I love it. Mariner. Rutherford joins with the Voyager engine sounds, and Tendi joins mirroring Mariner. The team building is fun here. Ransom notices the group acting strangely and calls in backup. Excellent. We often see people ignoring out-of-character actions to further the story, but we see Ransom here doing his job responsibly. He then tackles poor Boimler after pulling a phaser. As the group stop making noises, Mariner realizes that Boimler was right. The pitch is a little higher. And then we enter into the opening intro. We return to a large debris field filled with TOS-era ships and their spilled cargo. Among the wreckage, we open with a Shax log. The Cerritos is in a standoff with a Drukmani scavenger. It's pretty cool that we see the TOS-era ships in animated form again. There's something timeless about that style of design, though I'm not too sure about the Drukmani ship looking like a pickup truck or a dumper truck. It doesn't seem very warp capable. And I'm with Shax on this one. It's Starfleet equipment, and the tech would, in the wrong hands, even the TOS era tech would tip the balance of some small power. So a full assault I would also recommend. And the issue with the belligerent Drukmani would be solved pretty quickly. And no need for finder's fee. We see a ridiculous tractor beam fight, and it is ridiculous. And Billups is on the bridge for once. Don't often see that. We cut to the canteen/bar after the captain's inspirational speech, where new boy to the front line, Fletcher, is chugging food goop directly from the replicator. Disgusting. But because of the chanting and open excitement, Mariner accidentally knocks Dr. T'Ana into her food. Even after her apology, Dr. T'Ana proves to be a cranky bitch. She then completely loses it because she heard about Mariner, obviously from her mother's constant bitching in earlier episodes, and tells her to go work at Starbase 80. But before Mariner can kick her ass, Dr. T'Ana is saved by Fletcher. giving her a warm towel and replacement nachos. Should have just let Mariner go full tilt at this one. Perhaps it'll change her entire bedside manner. Boimler then drops some background. He and Fletcher were at the academy together, and that Starbase 80 is fighting words for Mariner. And for an introduction, Fletcher seems pretty cool. We get the return of our super science bros as they discuss what would be in the cargo, and I too hope it is the old school clamshell communicates from TOS, because those are timeless and awesome. Here, we learn that Tendi, while loving archival cataloguing, and let's be honest, who wouldn't, she has issues when it comes to spacewalking, mainly that she didn't finish the unit, but still graduated. Starfleet must have seen something in her, or they're just wildly corrupt, probably leaning to the latter rather than the former. But our beloved mad lad Rutherford has her back. He's invented a holodeck program to help out, something Tendi surprisingly forgot or hadn't considered. Once again, the holodeck saves the day. We cut to Mariner and Boimler as they are swapping out isolinear core chips. Nice to see they're color-coded for ease of replacement and maintenance. But the job is going to take forever, and the duo want to go see the choo-choo dance. Fletcher offers to help and finish up so they can go. Now I'm curious about what this choo-choo dance is. I suspect it's just simply a conga line. We cut back to the science duo at the holodeck, where Rutherford introduces Tendi and us to Badgie. Not gonna lie, a little bit cute, a little bit creepy, right on that Disney-ish sort of creep scale. It places the two in space, and you and I are very impressed by Rutherford's programming skills. The man has a gift. We get a little ship baiting before Badgie returns and gets them started on the lesson, or he would if he hadn't crashed. And even in the future, we have buffering issues. Rutherford gets uncharacteristically angry at Badgie, even to the point where he physically attacks it. This is really out of character, and the unsettling music and close-up on the badge is not ominous at all. We cut to our dynamic duo, Mariner and Boimler, as they exit the concert, and the two love it. But as they make their way back to their destination, they find Fletcher seemingly unconscious. He tells them that he was attacked from behind with a phaser. And why aren't they calling security? If he was attacked, Shax needs to know. Someone has made off with an isolinear core, the singular core that handles the shield's auto repair function. That sounds like sabotage, something Shax would be really interested in. It's a backup to a backup, but will show up if someone actually checks. He rightfully gets scared of a court-martial. The duo vow to fix this mess. And again, this is a job for ship security. Their immediate suspicion is Delta Shift, or the night shift. They confront them, but Fletcher loses on them. But they have an alibi. They were also at the choo-choo dances. The ship suddenly lurches, and we cut to the bridge. Carol is pissed. She believes that they have been attacked by the Drukmani, who have weaponized their tractor beam, launching the cargo ship's wreckage at them. Smart move by the Drukmani. You can't attack them with weapons, because that would mean the Cerritos would have to retaliate. But pushing stuff at them is not a provocation, because they could simply move out of the way or use their tractor beam to push it back. The shield is falling fast as the Drukmani ejects its cargo section and launches a near complete hull of a ship at them. Carol realizes that they're being baited into attacking and starting a conflict. Smart, but also dumb. There is a potential here for a war, but I don't think that the Drukmani have any chance of winning. Due to the weakened shields, one of the impacts causes a large power surge to soar through the ship. We cut to Tendi and Rutherford as the holodeck once again becomes a death trap. And I have to ask, and I'm sure all of you do too, why do they keep using them if they keep doing this? It seems every other time we see the holodeck, it's become a murder house, a charnel death house, if you will. And Rutherford's uncharacteristic antagonism of his own creation comes back to bite both him and Tendi in the ass as the program attacks Rutherford viciously with its teeth. They manage to get away, but changing destination from space to a marketplace on Bejor. So it doesn't reactivate the safeties, but it will change their destination. Let's make these malfunctions a little more consistent here, guys. Come on. They hurriedly get some disguises as Bajorans, as the now crazed program goes on a murder spree. The two make a break for a Bajoran temple. Nice job, Rutherford. Your program has gone full Voyager. Never let your programs go full Voyager. We cut back to the Drukmani ship as it launches more debris at the Cerritos. On the bridge, Ransom agrees with Shax that they should attack. I would at this point as well. Let's be honest. They are spoiling for a fight. Why not give it to them? The captain orders evasive pattern Sulu Alpha. The Drukmani take this as them fighting. A disabling shot would fix this really quickly. I don't think the Drukmani ship could deal with the Cerritos' main weapons. Let's be honest here. We cut back to Mariner and Boimler, who realize that if the shields drop below 50%, then the bridge crew will realize that the core is gone, or if there is some major issue happening down here. Fletcher suddenly realizes it could have been the Drukmani. But they find it on his bed under a sheet. Fletcher tells them he tried to give himself a brain boost only to break the core. And how would that ever work? Every time we've ever seen a brain boost happen in Star Trek, it has been because of alien technology, not technology they already have. As they plan to fix it, the core somehow comes alive, partly way through a very meaningful speech by Mariner. As it grabs things to integrate into its conscious, it grabs both Boimler and Mariner. They try to call it in to security, which they should have done at the start, but Fletcher refuses and simply attacks the now sentient core with a cudgel. We cut back to Rutherford as they are being chased up a mountain on a gigantic stone staircase, and they are blown up. Even the holographic badge is tired. Rutherford admits the program wasn't ready. He just really wanted to impress Tendi. The two have a heart-to-heart when they realize that Badgie is being affected by the heat and the atmosphere just as much as they are, and that gives Rutherford an idea. Rutherford didn't get Tendi or himself any coats or jackets, but he manages to change the program again to a frozen tundra location as we cut to another external shot of the Cerritos being pummeled by the Drukmani as the shields drop below 40% and Shax tries to go to manual shield regeneration. We cut back to Mariner and Boimler as they catch the core. Fletcher proves to not only be an idiot but also a dumbass. He wants to get beat up by the core so someone else can fix it and he can get away with being a lazy idiot. How did this clown graduate from Starfleet Academy is simply beyond me. We get some bonding between Boimler and Mariner here as they try to fix the core, dragging it away. And it is so good to see this this is the point now from these episodes forward, is where she becomes a good character and no longer a female Rick. I love it. It's just so good. They manage to get the crazed machine out of an airlock with a tricorder and launch it into space, where it starts to assimilate the Drukmani ship. I don't think that it's them that they should really be worried about, as the two fret about getting fired. Whew. We cut to the bridge. As the shield drops to 0, Carol has waited too long and the weapons are offline. But before she orders an abandoned ship, they see the Corps assimilating the Drukmani ship. And if she ever gets court-martialed for the loss of the ship, she would go to prison for sure. This is sheer incompetence. The minute they started chucking stuff at them, they should either have retreated back or attacked, not stayed there and took it. Ridiculous. But as it begins... Oh, no, I've gone too far. They celebrate as we cut to the holodeck. Tendi and Rutherford are still being chased, but are close to exhaustion and freezing. So Rutherford turns to fight, and the badge and him, master and creator, versus creature and program. It is a brutal fight. I don't know how to sum this up. I think this is probably one of the most brutal hand-to-hand combats we ever see in Star Trek. It is nasty. Badgie grabs an icicle and manages to ground Rutherford before stabbing him in the shoulder with it. Blood spatter on the hard cam. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. And maybe a bit too much for Star Trek, if I'm being overly honest here. But as it begins to throttle the life out of Rutherford, he apologizes. It glitches and freezes. And still making threats to him, Rutherford snaps its neck, ending the threat once and for all. Again, brutal. I think this is the first neck snap we see in Star Trek like this. It is, well, I say Star Trek like this. I dropped Discovery after season 1, so I don't know if that's in there, but good lord. Sickening neck snap. Billups, our unsung gold shirt hero, manages to fix main power, which fixes the holodeck. And as the duo breathe a sigh of relief, Badgie returns, seemingly to factory settings, and no memory of getting its neck snapped. The two beat a hasty retreat as the program makes an ominous statement and the door closes. This is reminiscent of Westworld, the film though more so than the trash fire of a TV show. We cut to Mariner and Boimler as they untie Fletcher, the asshat, threatening to take both of them two down with him. Don't know how that would work, seeing as it was all Fletcher's fault here, but Ransom arrives demanding answers, and Mariner gives them. We cut to Fletcher getting a promotion, much to Boimler's depression, but this was all part of Mariner's plan to get his ass off the ship. Boimler hopes that it'll make him a better man, but I wouldn't know about that. We cut to 6 days later, and Fletcher has been fired for dumping trash into the warp core of the ship he was assigned to. As he tries to get back with them, Mariner and Boimler drop him. The two reconcile as Mariner shows him the key for the captain's yacht she signed out in his name. We cut to an external shot of the Cerritos as Boimler complains and the ship itself warps away. This is the episode that really turns Star Trek Lower Decks for me. It's one of those episodes in a franchise that when you watch it back after watching the whole series through, you realize this is where they make the big change, where things start to feel more like their own voice instead of their doing an impression and impersonating another. The last episode and this episode really turn Mariner around and expand that Boimler-Mariner relationship from antagonist-protagonist to more frenemies, to more friends that annoy each other. And it's been an excellent journey, but I just really wish that they pulled back on the Rick Sanchez sort of characterization she had earlier. But this episode really, really turns the Mariner character for me. We also see some interesting character development with the Tendi-Rutherford relationship. That's always fun to see. We get the introduction of Badgie in this. I like the idea that Rutherford is an excellent engineer, but everything he makes kind of has a little bit of a downside. And this is a little bit of a downside in this. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I give this episode 3 stars. It is, while not perfect, it reminds me a lot of season 2 Star Trek, where you hit the episode where things start to turn. You start to be like, oh, they've abandoned those TOS scripts that they had kicking around that we're using for season 1 to pad them out, and now this has its own voice, and this has its own voice here. I really enjoyed it. So a definite 3 star. I'm looking forward to the evolution of the Tendi-Rutherford relationship and the Mariner-Boimler relationship. It's interesting that they've split these two characters off with each other. So we have our super science duo with Tendi and Rutherford and our dynamic duo with Mariner and Boimler. And I'm hoping we get more shuffling later on. But yeah, so far this episode has been really good. Last episode and this episode, a marked improvement in everything. It was brilliant. I love it. Thank you. I'd like to thank you for making it this far in the video. If you would please like, comment, and subscribe, for the YouTube algorithm is a harsh mistress, especially for those who are just starting the journey. And give me your honest opinions. What do you guys think of the Drukmani? I think they're quite an interesting species myself. Would you like to see more of them, less of them? Do you want Star Trek Lower Decks to start introducing its own creature cavalcade of aliens coming in and out, like we had with TNG with the Cardassians that became the big bad in DS9, and Voyager unfortunately introduced a lot of guys they never really followed up on. But what do you guys honestly think about these Drukmani, their ship, and their overall design? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching to this point, and I will catch you somewhere down that road.